Hey guys, Bazzy back here, and it is finally time for episode 8 of our Calgary Flames franchise mode series here in NHL 24. In this episode, we will be kicking off the 2025-26 NHL season, and the plan is just to go to the 41 game mark and kind of see where we are sitting in the standings. Quick look at the team here before we get started, just in case you guys need a refresher. Top line is Huberdeau, Zari, and recently signed Mikko Rantanen. 93 overall, $12.5 million for 7 more years. Very good contract. Second line is Coronado, Kadri, and Peltier. Crazy, he's up to an 87 now. Sharangovich, Hagens, who was our second overall pick this last year in the draft. He is 78 overall on the third line with Bukestad and O'Connor, Backlund, and Trennan on the fourth line. Defensively, we have Uyghur and Anderson, still the same top pairing. Poirier and Middleton on the second pair, and Sam Dickinson, the 6th overall pick in 2024, with Brandstrom on the third. Wolf up to a 90 with the cord backing him up. Scratches are Kuznetsov and Pospisil. So the expectations this year are that we are going to be a playoff team. Again, those plans can change, but let's get into it. Let's jump into the first game against the Washington Capitals here in Washington. 2-0 Caps after 1. Ryan Leonard and Anton Wemberg. 3-2 for us after 2. There you go. Poirier, Kadri, and Zari. And after 3, it is 4-4. Arvidsson, Miroshnichenko, and Kadri. In overtime, the Caps take it. Tony DeAngelo wins it for Washington. So we do drop our first game of the season. It is unfortunate, but it is overtime, so we get the point out of it at least. Before we head on, let's switch the goalies here. With it being a back-to-back, we will get Joey Daccord in for his first game of the season. Against the Montreal Canadiens, it will be a big 5-3 win. Love to see that. So the first win of the year for the Calgary Flames. Again, let's switch everything up, get Dustin Wolf back in the net, as we will be up against the Florida Panthers here in Florida. It is a big 5-4 win. Here we go. Up against the Dallas Stars now. Scouting report. 7-6 loss in the shootout. Interesting. Against the Anaheim Ducks, who are 3-0. We end their winning streak. Huge win there. 4-2 against the Ducks. Up against the St. Louis Blues. That's a 4-3 loss. First regulation loss of the season. As we sit 3-1-2. Against the Caps again, we do lose in the shootout this time, 4-3 against the LA Kings. It's a huge 6-1 win. So 8 games in, I kind of want to look at how everyone's doing, especially Hagens. See, maybe we send him down. We'll have to see. Kadri leading the way with 12, Zari Huberdeau with 10 behind him, Rantanen 9. Coronado, there you go. That's actually a decent start, 6-8. He's almost at his total from last year in 42. And there you go, Hagens 6-8 as well. 3 goals, 3 assists. Very good to see out of the young second overall pick. Then really outside of that, nothing too crazy. Dickinson +2, 1 goal, 8 games. That's good to see. Wolf's numbers are not looking too great. The chords are right. Again, it's very early in the season. I'm sure those will more or less balance out here as we continue the simulation. Up against the Pittsburgh Penguins, that is a 5-2 loss. Let's rebound here against the Winnipeg Jets here. They sit 4-4-1. We win 5-4 in overtime. Against the 2-4-3 Preds, it's another win, 3-2. Up against the Oilers here, let's jump into it. It is one of our rivalry matchups here. They sit 6-0, jeez. Up against the Edmonton Oilers, 1-0 after 1. Sharangovich on Skinner after 2. Zach Hyman adds 2 for them, unfortunately, so 2-1 after 2. And Hyman, he does get the hat trick. Robinson adds 1 as well. So we have not been doing very good jumping in against the Oilers, unfortunately. Now let's continue on here against the Minnesota Wild. Before we do that, actually, let us switch the goalies out. I want to get Daccord a couple of starts. Give Wolf a couple nights off. Numbers aren't great. Probably bring him back against Edmonton as we face them in a back-to-back here right away. Against the Wild, it is a 4-1 win. Up next against the 5-5-2 Sharks. It's a 5-4 loss. So let us go and switch. We'll get Dustin Wolf back in the net against the Edmonton Oilers here in Edmonton. Definitely want to see better numbers out of Wolf. Just definitely been a slow start for him. Oh shoot, I accidentally simmed through. I meant to jump into that, but hey, 4-0 shutout. Maybe we need to just start simming through the Edmonton games. Up against the Wild here now, up next. 7-4 win. Rantanen, 22 points. You love to see it. Against the Blackhawks, it's a 5-0 shutout. Up against the really good 11-4-1 Stars. That's a 4-0 shutout. There you go. Wolf is waking up. That's 3 shutouts in 4 games, I believe. Love to see that. Let's keep on against the Carolina Hurricanes. 5-2 loss. Was going to come to an end eventually. Unfortunately, it is now. And another loss followed up to the Islanders. So 20 games in. Again, let's take a quick look at these stats, see how everyone is doing. Rantanen leading the way, 23. Sorry, Huberdeau, 22 each. That's very, very good. Like to see that a lot. Poirier has 16 points in 20 games. Wow. He almost never grows in franchise too, so. Hagens, he has 13 and 20. That's totally good for me to keep him on, I think, this season. Coronado slowed down a bit, but still 12 and 20. That's much better than what he was doing. Outside of that, nothing too crazy to report on. Dickinson +6. Solid DFD, two-way D for us. And Wolf, like I said, he has been turning his numbers around slowly after the slow start with us. AHL, nothing too crazy down here. But yeah, 20 games into the season is a much, much better start here for our Flames franchise than the previous 2 seasons. Up against the Wings, as I say that, we do lose 3 in a row. 3-2 loss against Detroit. Let's get Joey Decord back in. Maybe we'll give Wolf a little start. What if we switch out Coronado and Huberdeau? +1/+5 doesn't change, just what line it's on. Say we give it a shot. So up next against the Tampa Bay Lightning, Hagens. Ooh, with a concussion. Only till December 10th, so it's not the end of the world, I guess. That will let us slot up Backlund. Let's move Trent into center. And then I guess just throw Pospisil on the 4th line. That should work. He will draw into the lineup here for the first time this season. So again, it's not ideal. It sucks losing Hagens. He's been very, very solid for us on that 3rd line. Honestly, maybe we look to move him up. He's been doing very good down there. Again, he's only a 78 as well, though, so. Against the Toronto Maple Leafs, that is a huge 3-1 win, sitting 13-7-3 now, 23 games in. Against the Carolina Hurricanes, that is a 3-2 win. Against the 500 Seattle Kraken, that's a 2-1 loss. Next, up against the Detroit Red Wings, that is a huge 5-3 win. And now up against the Chicago Blackhawks, that is a 4-3 overtime win. So we're playing pretty good overall. Against New Jersey, it's another win, 7-4, sitting... Oh, there's Hagens. I think we had 17, 8-4, something like that record-wise anyway. So now we can go and get Hagens back in. 22 games on the year, 14 points, 4 goals, 10 assists. That is a very, very solid rookie year for the 2nd overall pick. Possible 1 goal in 6 games. So we can kind of slot everyone back where they were. Throw Hagens back on the 3rd line center position. Again, I don't know, maybe he comes up for Pospisil, but Coronado on that top line has really fit in, so it's not bad. Give Decord a couple of starts here. Give Wolf a bit of a break, at least until the back-to-back against the Avalanche. 5-1 loss against the Islanders, followed by a 7-4 win against the Canucks. Against the very good Sabres, it's a 4-3 loss in the shootout. So let's go and get Dustin Wolf back in the net. Pretty sure that is the only change that we have to make heading into the next game. Defensively again, Uyghur's looking good, Anderson's good, Middleton, Poirier, Dickinson, Brandstrom. We don't really have a need for Kuznetsov at the moment. Again, injuries are on, so we'll see what happens. But up against the Colorado Avalanche, and oh no, there goes Mackenzie Weegar, literally the moment that I say that. So that is unfortunate. That goes basically our best defender on the team. Throw Poirier up there, no. Guess we throw Dickinson up there with Poirier. It's a young second pair, but it's not the end of the world. And then yeah, like I said, I guess Kuznetsov will make his season debut here. It's only till like January something, so I don't think it's too far away to get Coronado on that extra line, so it's a little bit of adversity for us. We do win the game at least, 4-3. Against the Canucks here, played them like twice in a week. 3-0 shutout this time around. Let's jump into the game against the Oilers. Sit 1-1 with them on the season series this year. First period is 1-1. Kulak and Rantanen. And after 2, it is 2-1 us. Jonathan Huberdeau. Like to see that. After 3, it's 5-5. Robinson, Bouchard, McDavid gets 2. Rantanen gets 2 for us, and Middleton, so is that actually a hat trick for Rantanen? I think he had 1 in the first, right? If I look down, yeah, it's a hat trick for Rantanen. Overtime solves nothing, going to a shootout. Blankenberg wins it in the shootout, okay. So we do unfortunately lose to our rivals in the Edmonton Oilers here. Continue on here to the game against the Ducks. Ooh, Travis Sanheim for 2 seconds and Grishnikov. That's actually not a bad offer. Wow, the Flyers are horrible. 5-17 and 7, jeez. But he's a very good defenseman. Defensive stats, physical, very good. 2 seconds in Grishnikov, 78 high top 6. 22, he's looking at right down there. I just don't think we want to do it right now, but it's something I'm definitely going to keep in mind for sure, especially if Uyghur's out longer term than we think. So Sharangovich also goes down here, third line winger. Not the end of the world, we can just bring up Trennan and then throw Pospisil in his spot. That deal does actually have me very intrigued though with Sanheim. We do face the Oilers here for the second time in about a week. Jump into this game once again. See if we can finally beat the Oilers in the slow sim this time. First period, 2-1 Oilers. Bouchard and Bourgault. Kuznetsov gets 1 for us. 4-2 after 2. Nuge and Dillon. 1 goal apiece. Peltier and Hyman cannot, for whatever reason, jump in and beat the Oilers. It's not great. 2-1-1 with them on the season. I'm assuming that's probably our last matchup against them. Not too sure. Let's get Joey Daccord back in there, playing his former team in the Seattle Kraken. Maybe we'll give him a start or two. We'll have to see how he ends up performing for us. So up against the Seattle Kraken here in game. Another trade coming in, D'Angelo. No, I'm not as interested in that. It's a 5-2 loss. And against the Anaheim Ducks here in Anaheim, it's a 3-1 loss. So, not great back-to-back losses. Let's just get Dustin Wolf back in there, start playing our game again. And let's end this video on a strong pace against the horrible Flyers coming up. That's just one of the worst records I've ever seen in franchise mode. Let's get Sharangovich back in there. He is fully healthy. Take Pospisil back out of the lineup. He's a good depth forward for us. But yeah, 6-19 and 8, 7-19 and 8. That's horrible. Wow. And they beat us. Come on. Can't lose to the Flyers. Against the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's a 4-3 loss. So last game of the season here, or last game of the episode, I should say, sorry. We will get Uyghur back, so that's huge. But we are on a bit of a losing streak as we look to end the video, which is not a great place to be in. Kuznetsov, 8 games, -1, goal and assist. It's not bad. But getting Uyghur in will be a huge boost to the team. Like I said, let's jump into this one, that being the last game of the episode. See if we can end things on a high note. First period, 1-0 Calgary. Connor Zary gets on the board for the Flames. After 2, it is 2-2. Higgins gets 1 for us, but Kolsar and Chabot get them on the board. And the Senators take it 4-3. Rantanen gets 1 for us, but it is not enough. So we are really on a cold streak here heading into the second half of the season, sitting 20-16 and 5. We were in a much better position before. Zary leading the way with 43 points. That's awesome. Rantanen right behind him. Huberdeau as well. Coronado 35 and 41. That's awesome. Really picked it up. Even Poirier, he's doing really good as well. Peltier is a little bit more down, but it's not horrible. Hagen's 20 and 35. That's really good for a third liner. Outside of that, there's nothing else too crazy, but nothing too concerning either. Dickinson's been very solid on that third pair. Maybe we look to move him up. Wolf, his numbers are right. It's been very meh for us. Deccord's not been great. Donsk, maybe we look to call him up. He had a pretty decent run with us last year, 20 games. Played pretty good. Maybe he'd be a better option than Decord. AHL, where is Hanzek here? 29 games, 7 points, getting 21 minutes a night. Wow, that's bad. Brucewick's our other good prospect, -15. So there's not a ton of help coming in the AHL, it appears. So that's not some good growth we're going to likely be getting out of those two players. But with that being said, I think that's going to do it for today's episode, simming up the first half of the 2025-26 NHL season. In the next episode, we will go through the trade deadline, and finish up this season. And I guess we're going to have to see. It's going to be tight whether we make the playoffs or not. I thought it was going to be more or less a lock this year, but it doesn't appear to be so. So, until then, I will see you guys all in the next video.